Hey there, and welcome to another Soundtrap walkthrough. The best way to learn from these videos is to view, pause, and imitate. View means watch what is being demonstrated in the video without copying at the same time. It's important to keep your attention on the concept being explained and demonstrated. When this screen comes up, you can pause the video. The concepts just explained will be listed on the screen, so while the video is paused, you can then imitate and explore the concept which was just shown. Alright, let's begin with another Soundtrap walkthrough. Hey there, and welcome to our Soundtrap tutorial on how to make a longer song. Last time we had a look at how just to bring in some short loops and add them together. This time I'm going to actually show you how to move these loops around, cut them up, copy them, paste them, so you can start to make your song a bit longer. So let's check it out. To begin with, we're going to go to Enter Studio. And because we're going to be starting a song from scratch, we're going to go to the blank template. Okay, let's start by just checking out how to add our loops like we did last time. So we're going to go up to the loops icon up here. We'll click on that and let's start with some drums. So I'm going to click on the tag for drums. Let's quickly listen to a couple just to preview them. So we're going to click just on the little preview button here. Yeah, it sounds alright. Let's check out this one. It's alright. Let's try acoustic disco. Yeah, I like that one. Now, last time what we did to add it into our song, we just double clicked on it and that will bring it straight into the song. But what you can actually do is you can click on it and you can actually click and drag, and you can see that I've got my mouse held down at the moment. You can actually see here that this the loop has come up and I can actually drop it wherever I want. So I'm going to drop it to the start here, and there it starts. Let's stop that. Don't forget that when you drag a loop in for the first time, it'll automatically turn on the cycle mode. So let's turn that off because I don't want that. And let's just shut the loops here so we can see our screen a little bit clearer. Okay, so let me show you a couple of things of what we can actually do with this loop now. The first one is that we can actually move it around. So let's click and drag it. And you can see there that you can actually stretch it around. Now, I'm going to get into the specifics of a good place to put it in later videos. But for now, I'd really suggest that you keep it to the beat grids. Really suggest that you keep it to the beat grids. And what I mean by that is you've got all of these lines down here, and I really suggest that you always drag it so that it starts at the line. So you can see here I've dragged it to the 7 or I dragged it to the 4. If you drag it in between, it's not going to sound right. Okay, what I'd also say about that is let me quickly grab let's get some bass going quickly. That's okay, we'll go with this one. All right, so I'm going to click on it. I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to drag it to the start. Now, what you can actually see here is when you've got these two loops at the same time, you can see that these little grooves here show you how long the loop goes for, but you can see sometimes loops go for different lengths. What I'd really suggest you do is that whenever you're dragging another loop around, what you do is you make sure that it lines up with the little grooves here. So you can see that I've stretched it to a new place and the grooves line up. I'll stretch it to another place here so you can see that the start of this one lines up with the start of this one. Always make sure that the start of them line up, because if you place it in the middle like this, or maybe on the edge like that, or even though this one here, it's on the beat grid here, but it's a bit out, it's not going to sound right. Let me show you that. So if I play from the start here and they're lined up, that sounds all right. If I stretch it to here, kind of out of place, have a listen what this sounds like. Now, it sounds okay, but if you listen carefully, if it sounds like it's a little bit out. It sounds like they're not quite matching up. And this is going to cause you problems later on, particularly if you've got a lot of different loops going at the same time. If they're not lined up, you're going to start to run into problems. So what I suggest now is just make sure that they're lined up like that. All right. Let's just turn this one off for the moment. So we're going to push the mute button there. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is loop length. Now, at the moment, you can see that it stretches over 4 times. What you can actually do is if you click this button up here, the loop button, if you click on that and stretch it, you can actually make it longer, or you can actually make it shorter. Now, you have to make sure the only place that you can stretch it from is from the right-hand side. All right, if I drag it to here and try to stretch it, it's not going to work. It's going to break it a little bit. You might think that you can stretch it that way, but you're actually changing what the loop is. Can you see that you're actually making it shorter, and you're actually going to break the loop, okay? So if you're going to stretch something out, always stretch it from the right-hand side. But the best way to think of it is you just see this little button up here, the loop, and great, I'm going to stretch it out, and now I can make it a few more cycles. So already, if I put this at the start here, and stretch this one out as well. And I always like to stretch them out until I can see that I'm at the end of it. There you go. I've already made my song double the length. So I've made my song longer. Okay. Now, let's have a look at something else called the split. So what you can actually do is you could split this loop, so you could put a gap in the middle of it. So the way that we use a split is we use the marker up the top here, the playback marker. I'm going to split this in half. So I'm going to drag it here. Now, there's a few ways you can do it. The easiest way is to right click on the loop you want to split. And I'm going to go to split region. Now, have a look what happened. Do you see that on the marker, it's actually put a little split in between? So now if I click on this right one and drag it across, it's actually separate to the other one. So now you can add some space in. Another way that you can actually do that, let me do it to, actually we'll do it to the acoustic bass. Let me grab it from here. What you can do is just push Control E, and that's going to do it for you. So that's a good little keyboard shortcut. All right, we've split it. What you can also do is just normal commands like copy and paste. So let me shrink this one here. There we go. Say that you wanted to add this one to a little bit later on. You could drag it over and do a split, or you can just go Control C, click on it, Control C, or you could right click and go to copy, and then find the place with the playback marker. So you stretch that over to somewhere where you want to put it. So let's go here and Control V, and there it is. You've added it in again. Okay, so you can do all of those things, and also you can do deleting as well. So if you wanted to delete this one in the middle here, just right click on it. You can select delete, or what you could do is you could just push the delete button on your keyboard. That'll do it as well. Now, the last two things I want to quickly look at is if you make any mistakes. So say I've done all this and then I've thought, oh no, I don't want that. You can do, you can undo and redo. So if you click up to this little spot here, we have an undo button. And then maybe you've gone too far and you've thought, oh no, hang on, I wanted to save that. So you can just click the redo button here. And they're all under the edit settings. And if you have a look, you can actually just push Control Z, which is the undo button. Or if you wanted to redo, just Control Shift Z. And these are shortcuts that work across all your programs on your computer anyway. So if you're in PowerPoint or Excel or Word or even writing an email and you do something that was a mistake, just push Control Z and that'll sort you out. But then if you go too far, just do Control Shift Z and that will fix it up. And thanks for watching another Soundtrap walkthrough. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe. And why not check out some of our other Soundtrap walkthrough videos.